So, as you guys know, Neurosama is actually coming back. We actually made a video about this yesterday, talking about the fact that Neurosama, is back from hiatus after a record-breaking subathon, and well, it seems like some mainstream places are already trying to get on Neurosama about losing subs, because, as I said, they managed to hit the all-time kind of sub, not record, but they managed to get the most subs out of everybody on Twitch during their subathon, and also managed to beat 2 Hype Train records, which was really, really great to see. But it seems like recently, some places have been talking about the fact that Neurosama is no longer #1 in terms of most subscribers, and I think it is a very easy explanation as to why this has happened, but I think many people fail to put it right. Because then Jinxie overtakes the top spot from Vedal 987 for most subscribers on Twitch. And as you can see there, Jinxie has actually managed to overtake Vedal with 81,000 subs, with Vedal being at 75,000 subs. Now, if you guys remember, over on the actual subathon itself, they managed to get somewhere near 162,000 subs, which was absolutely incredible and was over double of what Jinxie got, during this time, right? But as you guys know, subs, they expire, they only last for a month, and some people don't decide to renew them. So obviously this means that during a subathon, this is going to drop pretty drastically, especially if you are not streaming, which again, as I said, if you guys didn't hear in the first part of the video, they have been on a bit of a hiatus for the past 2 weeks, right? They've been away and not been streaming at all. So, lots of people have not decided to renew their sub, or some people only wanted to help out with the subathon, maybe can't afford a sub long term, so they decided not to keep their subs, which is totally okay. That's fine, right? It was for the subathon, and of course, there's a lot of gifted subs as well. That is also a big factor. But I do find it quite funny because you got people like Dexerto saying Jinxie has become the most subscribed Twitch streamer with 81,000 subscribers. He dethroned Vedal 987's AI VTuber Neurosama, who has 75,000. And I do find it interesting, the kind of wording that places like Dexerto use, say like they dethroned Vedal 987's AI VTuber, when we all know exactly why and how he managed to do that, which is due to the fact that Vedal had to stop streaming for them to be able to catch up, which I do think is quite funny, right? Vedal had to stop streaming, Neurosama had to stop streaming for Jinxie to manage to beat, them in terms of current active subs, and also they had to lose almost half their subs for this to even happen, which I do think is pretty hilarious, and I do think some people are going to use this as a little bit of a cope, saying like, oh, Neurosama is never going to get that big anymore, whatever, it was a one-off, or, people don't like AI that much, it was a one-off. But again, I think people misunderstand that if you don't stream for an entire 2 weeks, yes, you do lose subscribers, and that is just the case that happens, right? And Jinxie, manages to overtake, them due to that, right? Because he is constantly streaming. He is streaming a very, very, a lot. And I do think, obviously, he does deserve subs as well, despite everything that he has said about Neuro and everything like that. I do think he is a good streamer, right? But I do think it is pretty crazy, this narrative, I guess, that Dexerto is trying to push in terms of like, oh, they're falling off now or whatever, when obviously we know exactly why this has happened, and it's because they literally haven't been streaming, right? They say Jinxie has become the most subscribed streamer on the platform, yet again overtaking Vedal 987 to take the top spot. I say Vedal has only reached the #1 earlier this year, when AI VTubers creators channel surpassed every human streamer earlier in January. They say that surge followed a massive record-breaking broadcast, which saw the channel rack up 162,000 subscriptions. So they do mention it within the actual kind of articles and stuff, right? But I think it is like Dexerto heavily relies on, I guess, baiting people into, clicking onto their articles, because again, I think a lot of the money does come from the articles rather than the tweets themselves. Although, to be fair, the tweets do make a bit of money now with the whole monetization that goes on. But again, I do think they heavily rely on people clicking on it, and that is why they kind of inflate it, or, put stuff like dethrones or whatever. People saying humans back in the race, which again, as I said, a ton of people in the kind of, normie sphere are going to be rejoicing at this. Are going to be super happy to see that the AI VTuber is no longer taking over, right? But I think people fail to kind of understand that they had to take a step back for them to take a step forwards, right? And people said the question is, could he have done it if Vedal hadn't stopped streaming for 2 weeks? Which again, I just don't think is the case, right? I just don't think he would have been able to overtake him if Vedal did continue streaming like normal, right? And yeah, I mean, this is also another thing that was over on Yeats account as well, saying yeah, Jinxie overtakes the top spot. Lots of people said zero first given. They said so he is now the Twitch's most valuable creator. So good for him. So the fact that people give their hard-earned money to these streamers are insane. So yeah, well yeah, vedal subathon ended. He's on break, which yeah, still true. They say watching as people still dunk on vedal and praise Jinxie for overtaking them, I won't be surprised. They said I've been watching him since he got super popular back when he was a small siege creator. So good for him. So again, a lot of people happy for kind of Jinxie, but obviously people said, yeah, oh wait, this is current active subscribers. Lol, this isn't like, you know, subscribers of all time or whatever. This is current active ones. And yeah, as I said, you know, whenever you don't stream for 2 weeks, you do not have active subscribers, and that is just how it works, right? And that is due to the fact that obviously, yeah, vedal is taking a break after a, you know, pretty intense subathon. I mean, that must have been a pretty insane thing, and I feel like, you know, it definitely does deserve a break, especially after beating 2 records and, you know, getting all of those global emotes and stuff from Twitch. It must have been a pretty insane time, right? Where you couldn't really have any kind of break or whatever. And I hope that obviously things have gotten better, because as we said in the last video, neurosama will be coming back literally today. She might even be live by the time this video comes out, or after this video comes out actually. So hopefully the stream does go very, very well for her. And obviously, yeah, that will be, yeah, 7 p.m. GMT. And also there'll be another stream on Thursday as well for Evil at on the 29th, which will also be at 7 p.m. GMT. So if you want to go watch that, then definitely go and support them, because again, obviously they are great, and it seems like a lot of people have also been reacting to her returning over the time since we covered it. And yeah, it's been really, really great to see how successful they've been and how much the swarm have really been behind them. But again, as I said, there's always going to be people that want to see them fail, as we've seen with the countless amounts of harassment and stuff that has come towards them. I mean, we covered all of the stuff on Blue Sky, right? The things they were saying about vedal, saying that he had to be arrested, and potentially even worse, right? And it was absolutely horrible to see. But thankfully, you know, everything's all good, everything's fine, and it's just always going to happen. You're always going to have people that dislike you. You're always going to have people that are going to try and push kind of stories against you in terms of like being dethroned and whatever, which I think is pretty crazy. And yeah, this is just something that happens whenever you have been on the top, and whenever you have been so successful. People want to bring you down, right? People want to kind of, I guess, discredit it. People want to, you know, find any way to make it seem like, you know, things are going bad for them when it's not. You know, obviously, I'm sure these subs will probably boost up whenever neurosama goes live later on today. I'm sure, you know, they're probably going to try to do another hype train, right? When she goes live, which I'm pretty sure, yeah, I don't think it will make it to a record or anything, but I'm pretty sure it'll be a pretty big one, right? Because the swarm have been homeless for the past couple of weeks. They've been kind of regenerating, I guess, in terms of financials. So hey, maybe we could see another hype train coming out, you know, outside of a subathon, which will be really cool to see. And obviously, yeah, maybe they're going to overtake Jinxie once again whenever people come back to sub, whenever this all happens. But yeah, I mean, that is essentially all I wanted to cover. I did think it was a little bit odd just saying that, so I kind of wanted to point that out and just talk about it a little bit, because again, as I said, it should take away from how much hard work vedal has put into neurosama and everything that has gone on with the channel, especially over the past couple of months. And it seems like, obviously, yeah, as I said, a lot of people were looking to bring them down, but it seems like, you know, they're still doing good, they're still chilling, and everything seems all good. But yeah, that's about all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.